friends, here we are back in my science classroom, which today is going to be my kitchen again, and we are going to do an awesome experiment. It's called the cloud in a jar experiment. I thought it would be really cool since it's been raining lately and you're seeing lots of clouds in our atmosphere that we could even make our own clouds inside, since sometimes when it's raining it's really hard to go outside. So some of the materials you're going to need for today's experiment are things that you should have at home. Since we're not in the science classroom, we don't have access to all the materials that we might need for a regular experiment. So we're going to do our best and come up with some things that we can use for our cloud in a jar experiment. So what you're going to need is some sort of glass or jar. And then on top, you're going to need to have some sort of lid. So you guys could use a plate, you could use this little glass dish, or if you had a mason jar like I have here, you could also just use one of the mason jar lids, one of the tops for that. That would work obviously the best if you guys have that. And you're also going to need water in all different forms. You're going to need ice, which is water in solid form. You're going to need water as a liquid, which in this case is going to be really warm water, almost boiling. And we're going to create water vapor inside our jar, which is a gas. So we have water in all three forms today, which is really, really, really cool. And you guys are also going to need something to create your dust or your particles within the air that's going to hold on to your water. So I'm going to have two options for you. If you have a parent with you or a sibling or a babysitter that's old enough to use matches, you guys can use matches for your experiment, which I will show you how to use carefully. But if you don't have somebody who can help you with the match, you guys can just use hairspray. Any kind of hairspray, doesn't matter. No preference there. Okay, so to start our experiment today, we're gonna get all set up and I'm gonna show you the couple different variations you guys can use with just the materials you guys have at your house. So the first thing you're gonna do is take your jar. In this case, I have two separate containers that we can use today. You're going to take your water that you've been boiling and you're going to just pour it about a fourth of the way up. Maybe you could even make a little cup of tea for yourself or for your parent, because tea is very relaxing. It can just really make yourself feel better. So add a little extra water, so I'm gonna make a little cup of tea for myself for later. Then you guys are gonna set your lids on top of your cups. So I'm gonna set the glass one on top of this mason jar, and I'm gonna set my plate on top of this cup. And we can kind of start to already see the water vapor getting trapped inside of the glass, because the plate and the glass container are colder. The atmosphere up high is a lot colder than the atmosphere that's closer to the earth. To make it even go faster, you guys are going to put some ice cubes right on top of your plate. Now be very careful when you're doing this because you are dealing with warm water. Lovely. So now this has a very cold atmosphere. Down here is representing the earth, which is a lot warmer than the atmosphere up high. So we're just gonna let that kind of sit for a little bit and start to evaporate some of that water into the atmosphere. So we're going to talk about why we let that rest, kind of how clouds form. So clouds form because the sun heats up all the liquid water that's on the earth. There's so much liquid water on the earth, over 80%. There's oceans, there's lakes, there's rivers, there's streams all over the place. Even your own swimming pool has water that evaporates from the sun. So as that water evaporates, as the sun is warming it, it turns into water vapor. Just like when you see the steam coming out of your tea kettle. Can you guys see a little bit of the steam coming out of the tea kettle? That's called water vapor, and it's a gas. And as it evaporates, it rises up towards the atmosphere. The atmosphere is very cool as it gets farther away from the earth. And that's what we're doing here. As it cools, it condenses. and it turns back into a solid. So it turns from a water vapor back into a solid, these little ice crystals. But what are they going to attach to form a cloud? Well, in the atmosphere, we have things like pollution. We have dust. We have everything that's floating around that all these water molecules that have evaporated are going to attach to. So we're going to use the hairspray to pretend like this is the dirt and dust that's in the atmosphere. So I'm going to use this for this jar that I have here. And it's really important to immediately seal this right after you're done. So I'm going to do a little spray in there. And now we have some particles that are not only water. So those water molecules are going to be able to hold on to, hopefully, these dust molecules that are floating around in our atmosphere. Another way that you guys can show this is by using a match. Only if you have an adult around, okay? Just be really careful. So you're going to just strike your match. There we go. And you're just going to hold it and drop it. So all that smoke in there, that's going to be particles as well. Those are dust molecules that all the water is attaching to. And as it attaches to more and more dust molecules, and as there's more water evaporating from the earth, you guys are going to start to see clouds form. And that's what we're actually seeing in our jars right now. We have our warm earth, which is this portion of our experiment. We have our atmosphere, and at the very top we have our freezing cold atmosphere. And we sprayed some hairspray to pretend that it's dust. And as you lift your lid, you will see a cloud form in your jar. And you guys can do this as many times as you'd like, as long as your water is still a little warm, and as long as your ice hasn't fully melted yet, you can put your lid back on, take your dust and dirt molecule, give it a little squirt or spray, seal it, and just wait a minute or two, and you'll get another cloud to form. This is this experiment that keeps on giving. It's not just a one-time experiment, okay? For this one, you guys can see that this is what we use the match for, and the match produced a lot more dust and dirt molecules than our squirt of hairspray. So I'm just going to carry this carefully, because remember, you do have warm water you're dealing with, and you guys are just going to lift off the atmosphere. You have a cloud that formed. How cool is that? So you can put this back on. You could light another match, or you could spray the hairspray in that one if you didn't want to light another match. But look, in our hairspray experiment, we already have another cloud formed. So cool. And you can keep doing this, like I said, until your water that's representing the water on Earth gets too cool, or when the ice fully melts, okay? So that kind of concludes the experiment today, but you guys just saw that you can just do it a few more times. You don't have to just do it once. Now, let's learn a little bit more about all the types of clouds that you guys are seeing in the air today. So, did you guys know that more than 100 types of clouds exist? And there are so many variations to clouds, but there are 10 main types. And kind of how they categorize all the types of clouds is how they're arranged from their distance from the earth. So we have some low-level clouds that you see a lot of, like a cumulus cloud, or maybe you could see a stratus cloud outside, or a stratocumulus cloud. And that's anything that's below about 6,500 feet usually is going to be those low-level clouds. Then you have kind of these middle-level clouds like altocumulus clouds, nimbostratus clouds, altostratus clouds. And they form anywhere from about that low-level cloud, which is about 6,500 feet, all the way to about 20,000 feet. So as you're flying up in an airplane, those are the clouds that you guys are going to be passing through that appear to be really, really thick. Then at the top, you have high-level clouds, like a cirrus cloud, a cirrocumulus cloud. You could have a cirrostratus cloud. Those are all going to form about 20,000 feet or up. And the cirrus clouds, those are those ones that are just very thin and wispy that you often see on a nice summer day, because there's just not a ton of water in the atmosphere. to be forming these big clouds. Like sometimes you guys see at the end of summer, you guys see these big thunder clouds. Those are called cumulonimbus clouds. And those tower all the way from about 6,500 feet all the way to the upper atmosphere, which when you think about it, that's over 10,000 feet of cloud. And that's why those clouds have so much energy in them. And that's why you guys hear thunder coming out of those clouds and lightning coming out of those clouds, because they are so massive and they are accumulating tons of energy in order to produce all those storms. So that's about all I have for you on clouds today. I hope you guys really enjoyed the cloud in a jar experiment, and I hope you learned something about clouds. And then let me know if you guys want to learn more about clouds when we get back to school. Okay, have a great morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you guys are watching this. I miss you guys like crazy, and I hope I get to see you guys soon, okay? Have a great week.